On the cover, a spray paint mural on an Apex City overpass. In the center, the Bearoness with paws outstretched and a beam of light shining upwards from her eyes. On one paw, Darren, William, and Piero pull towards a green park scene, the sun shining down on warm, grassy fields. On the other paw, a red spotlight picks out Crackshot and Motorhead of the Killage People, pulling towards a giant pile of money, electric guitars, and guns. On top of the overpass, leaning over and staring at an oversized leather jacket clutched in his nano-armored fist, stands Axiom. Issue 24, Choices. Okay, so we are here at part 3 of our Apex City one-shots, this one featuring the Bearoness.
Woo!
Right? Last we saw everyone, Frederick and Furnace had kind of wrecked your collective shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in kind of the aftermath of that, the team sort of splits up, or at least the three of you that are left. We don't really know what happened to William. I mean, we know what happened to William, but we don't get to see what happened to William.
Yes,
in these panels.
I don't know.
You don't know. So as everyone kind of splits up, I want to get a couple of panels of the Bearoness, and what do those look like? Like, where is she going?
I feel like this is one of those montages where people are like they have them all the time. Like they're just walking down the street and the various neon signs are floating by on the side, and they're guilty things, like puns on guilt. Like, did you
have you abandoned your friends recently? Got
things
too
like
much
abandoned
blood.
friends center. Yes, got too much.
Got
blood.
too much blood.
Yes, yes. There's definitely some advertisements for
that'll be funny
jazzy blood crimes in there.
That'll be funny in like 2 weeks.
That's right. We're back in time, aren't we?
Yeah. We're recording this after our Halloween special, so it's a little weird. So, you're walking past a bunch of neon signs, and we have, I think, a couple of, like, not quite flashbacks, but, like, callbacks to the previous session where you had that ping that showed up in your head, and you went to Dr. Bahat, and Bahat gave you a little, like, nano pill to swallow, and then wrote a little code in there to kind of suppress the fact that you're giving off a beacon that a couple of people are tracking, and told you that it should be fine as long as you don't get into any serious trauma. And then you immediately got attacked by Frederick and Furnace, and went through a couple of portals, tussled with a couple of people, and then, the ping's back, is what I'm saying.
Yes, as one would expect.
Right at this point. And at this point in time, I think you're just kind of crossing the Ross Tunnel, which is a tunnel that kind of goes under the Kenny River. So, like, the Simonson Parkway Bridge is the main connecting bridge above, but there's also a underground, like, car tunnel.
Yeah.
And you're kind of close to that, and...
What time of day is it again?
It's...
Did we leave him in the middle of, like, the day?
Don't recall. Wow, I'm bad at this.
Well, whatever time of day it is, I imagine there's like a party or like a picnic going on for people and their friends just off to the side of the tunnel.
Sure, as you do.
Yes.
As you do.
Lots of friend bonding activities.
Yeah, let's say it's like middle of the day. Maybe getting into early evening at this point.
We can retcon that later if it's not.
That's fine. I'm not going to retcon it. It is now. That's what the artist thinks it is.
Yeah. If not, I've just been walking for an entire day.
I'm going to blame the artist in this case.
Okay.
Damn you, Rob Liefeld. But, by the way, nobody has feet in this particular episode.
I never have feet. I have paws.
Right, you have paws. Your paws are fine. The paws are fine, but none of the human characters.
No, none of the feet.
That's a low blow. Rob Liefeld is a very talented person. I'm sorry, Rob Liefeld. If you're not listening to this, but I'm sorry all the same. That was a bad attempt. I'm tired. Anyway, so your ping's back, and it's just coming out of the tunnel. You're probably maybe 200 feet away from it.
Okay.
So the question here is, what do you do?
I feel like I'm not in the mood for running away from things at the moment.
Sure.
I'm feeling a little guilty and insecure at the moment. So I feel like I'm just going to ignore it. Okay. I'm just going to keep walking sadly with violin music playing in my internal stereo.
Oh, that's good.
Just walking through the tunnel with like spotlights occasionally.
So yeah, as you do, you definitely catch sight of Crackshot and Motorhead. Mm-hmm. And to reiterate, Crackshot kind of looks like a young Ronald Reagan in like cowboy chaps. And he is riding a motorcycle that the handlebars are like actual human hands. And has a little mustache that goes over the headlights. That is
windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Or like headlight wipers.
Yeah, the little headlight wipers are a mustache. Yeah, that's Motorhead.
Yes.
Who is a guy that turns into a motorcycle.
Yes, ironically enough.
Right. And Crackshot is, among other things, a sharpshooter.
Yes, among other things.
Among lots of other things.
A shooter of many kinds.
A shooter of many kinds.
We can just leave it at that, yes.
Right. And they definitely catch sight of you and pull around to kind of like follow you at a small distance. And Crackshot actually calls out, "Oh, hey there, Jackie!" and he holds up like a little receiver box that we've been looking for you.
I'm gonna look over at him. Long time no see.
One of the handlebars like lifts up and kind of waves at you. Maybe help us out a little bit. You know, for old time's sake. I hear you got a good thing going for you here in Apex City. Sake.
Yeah, what brings you guys to Apex City?
Oh, well, so, couple of weeks back, some mutual acquaintances of ours managed to heist a gem, but they got run in by the cops, and it's been transferred here to Apex City. We'd like it back. It's worth an awful lot, and we were hired out to pick this thing up. So we thought, who better to hit up than our old friend, Miss Disaster.
I thought I made it clear. Those days are behind me.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure you did, but, you know, would you be willing to help us out just as a favor? I'd hate for our involvement to come up with any of your new friends here in Apex City. Without you, I think we might get caught by Kopi, and then we'd have no excuse but to spill the beans.
I would like to avoid those beans being spilled. What's in it for me?
Well, that's an interesting question. I suppose we might owe you a favor, or, I tell you what, Jackie, what is it that you want?
Ooh, I didn't expect you to ask me that.
You know me, I'm a straight shooter.
Do you know anything about or have any connections in the Infernus Corporation?
Oh, we might have run some jobs for them now and then. Kind of revs the motorcycle a little bit. I think Motorhead stole one of their robbed one of their banks.
So, you wouldn't say you're necessarily in their good graces?
I mean, if they pay us, we do jobs for them, and if not, we're equal opportunity.
Okay. You know, I might... You know I'm retired, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. You seem like you're a little more, you got a little more chrome than last time we saw you here.
I think at this point there's going to be there's going to be a couple screens of some black screens with a green coding language.
Sure.
This is how Jackie's mind looks.
Okay.
And there's going to be Kopi programs, and they're sort of they're forming little pictures of boxing guys with some red programs, and they're sort of fighting it out.
Oh, nice. So who's winning?
So initially it's the Kopi one, because the Kopi guy is a really big, hefty program. Mm-hmm. But the red program throws some coding dirt in its eyes and gets the upper hand.
It's fighting dirty.
Yeah. Well, it is red code. As we all know, red code fights dirty.
Code red, yes.
So then there's going to be a little red wave that runs through my little my cybernetics. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that offer.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I tell you what. And he kind of pulls off to the side in the tunnel. Do you know a group called Phoenix?
I do.
They're holding on to this gem at the moment.
Tell me more about this gem.
Well, damnedest thing. It's a sapphire about the size, and he makes a fist, about the size of my fist. And when you touch it, it's cold. And I mean, like, if you read this thing on a thermometer, it should be freezing everything around it.
And I take it doesn't.
No, it does not.
You of all people should know that I don't do well with magic. You remember what happened the last time I got involved in magic.
And he kind of looks up. You know, I don't think I do. I've been...
Motorhead, you remember.
And the motorcycle is kind of like, in as much as a motorcycle can nod, just sort of nods.
Uh-huh. I'm not saying I'm not gonna help. I'm just saying you're gonna owe me a big favor after this.
You know what? For the price we're getting for this thing, you tell me what you want and I'll make it happen.
We'll leave it open.
All right. So, they've got a shipping center not too far from here. It's just off Tezuka Square. Meet us there at midnight.
Midnight.
And he kind of nods at you, and he revs up Motorhead, and the two of them just tear off down the Ross Tunnel.
Okay, I was hoping we could catch up, but alright, I'll see you at midnight at an abandoned factory. Sure,
it's not abandoned,
fine.
It's a shipping center.
Okay, it's a shipping center. Whatever.
This is one of the few places that's not abandoned in Apex City. It's a warehouse, yes, but it's manned.
Well, I assume at nighttime it will be at least mostly abandoned.
Probably lightly guarded, yeah.
Alright, fine.
So you've probably got a few hours before midnight.
Uh-huh.
What are you up to?
I think I'm still feeling a little, confused and amped up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I never really got to punch Frederick and Furnace in the face like I wanted to.
You did not.
So I'm going to sort of let some of my emotions out in a frenzy of street tagging.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Are you tagging anything important? Or are you just doing, like, bypass murals?
It's the middle of the day, so I imagine
Right?
I'm not doing anything. It's probably something visible, because I'm definitely doing a mural. So
Okay.
I think bypass mural makes sense.
Bypass mural? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not somewhere where the cops are going to immediately spot me.
What kind of mural is this? What does it look like?
Right, so I'm imagining this is a big, sprawling, like, epic mural.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some images of, like, boxers written in code boxing each other,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
there's a stylized version of, like, Frederick and Furnace as, like, some big, like, shadow creature
Uh-huh.
that's, like, trying to devour a small man that looks similar but is legally distinct from William.
Okay.
Just, like, some big epic themes. And there's some small images of, like, the Killage people in the past, and, like, the past trying to drag you down. But you're trying to fly out of it.
That's good.
It's very big and epic. And,
That's real good.
yeah.
Oh, that's so good. By the time you finish up, let's say you probably have, like, maybe an hour-ish. Is there anything else you want to do, like, ahead of time, or do we just flash straight to this thing?
You know, I can't imagine anything that I would really do right now.
Okay, let's just get straight to it then.
Yeah.
Let's just get there.
I feel like I would just go to the factory early and just wait.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you get there pretty early, and it's a fairly busy place. You know that Phoenix is mostly in high-end prosthetics.
Yeah.
But you also know that they have been known to hold on to things like, you know, Bulletproof was robbing one of their facilities.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a big high-tech vault, so they do occasionally just store things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of... It's a shipping center, but it's pretty well fortified. It's got really thick walls. You can tell that there's definitely, like, guard posts. There is, you know, your standard chain link fence around it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough nut to crack to get in there.
Got it.
If you're getting there a little bit early just to kind of case the joint,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and have you assess the situation.
Sure, I can assess that situation. Let's see, that's an 8 plus 0.
So go ahead and ask one of those questions, and you will get a +1 while acting on it.
What here is the most vulnerable to... Or, I guess that's who here.
I mean, I will give you what here is the most vulnerable. I think that works.
Yes, alright, let's go with that.
If you prefer that one.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sure. There are 2 guard stations.
Okay.
That kind of lead in from either direction. In the middle, there's a sizable blind spot. Like, this isn't like, you know, Fort Knox. This is just a shipping station that's for, you know...
Sure.
So, there's a pretty big section of fence that you could probably get into without anyone seeing you. you've got, your scanners, it's not electrified, it's not like a high tech, if I, break this, like if I cut this, someone's going to know.
Sure.
As long as they don't directly see you, it'll take a while for someone to figure out that you got in that way.
Okay.
So that gets you inside the grounds itself.
Yeah, it'll get me inside.
And from there, I mean, honestly, you could break through a wall, no problem.
I mean, yeah.
Right? You're you.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So that would actually get you inside pretty easily.
All right. So yeah, just walk through, basically.
Yeah, basically you find a blind spot that you can get through the fencing without anyone noticing you directly.
All right, that sounds good.
So about this time, Crackshot and Motorhead pull up. Motorhead, once Crackshot has disembarked, transforms back into a human being.
Yes.
And he looks a little bit differently than the last time you saw him, too. It's like you've gained a little bit of chrome, so has he. His is just a little more literal, because he's part motorcycle.
Yeah.
He is a well-built Latino man. He's got a big handlebar mustache. His arms are kind of chrome up to the shoulder. He's wearing fingerless gloves at this point, which turn into like the leather wraps around the handlebars.
Right.
No, all about the aesthetic.
Yes, he is.
Definitely tight leather pants.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
wearing nothing but leather.
Yeah. Tight leather pants, like leather vests, no shirt underneath it at all. Just the biker aesthetic, right? So he shifts back. Crackshot has his little 6-shooter by his side.
Of course he has a 6-shooter.
Of course he does. And he's wearing chaps.
Oh, yeah.
And like a tassel vest.
Yes, like the iconic cowboy of the age. Yeah.
Except he's wearing like a button-down shirt under that with like a red power tie.
Nice.
And he looks over at you. Oh, good to see you early. I thought we would have trouble getting in here, but I suspect our expert infiltrators already figured it out.
I was never really much of an infiltrator. I just sort of walked through walls.
That's the same thing. And he points over at Motorhead. Lenny's trying, but he's not as good at it as you were. And Motorhead just kind of nods and he goes, yeah. And he kind of like punches his fist into his hand. He's like, I got some new arms, but...
Yeah, I noticed. Those are nice.
And he kind of flexes a little bit. He's like, yeah, it's a real gun show over here, but,
We're going to do a little fist bump.
Yeah.
Tink.
Oh, that's a good page. But he looks a little bit, he's like, yeah, but I can't hold a candle to you, so.
How's everyone else? What happened to you guys after, the incident?
Oh, they're still mostly running around Maestro City. We've had a couple of change-ups in the meantime, but me and Motorhead are still running pretty strong, and the rest of them are holding down the fort right now. Don't you worry, we've got plans to bust out the ones that are in prison right now. It's part of what you're funding here tonight.
Yeah, like, remember that one time that we broke into that one prison that had those, like, luchadors in it for whatever reason? Man, those are good times.
Motorhead just kind of nods. He's like, yeah, that was fun. And Crackshot goes, remember that time that we broke into a prison to break out of a prison? We got ourselves arrested?
Yeah, there was like that prison within the prison.
Yeah, the prison.
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway, let's do this. So he kind of motions towards the building like an after you sort of thing.
I just sort of slice open the chain link fence and just sort of punch through the wall or whatever. Sure.
Getting through the fence is easy enough. Getting through the wall, I do want you to unleash your powers.
Yeah, I guess I should probably unleash my powers for that.
Yeah. The fence is fine. You get up to the building, no problems, but...
Alright, that is a 13.
Yeah, that'll do it. So, give me that panel of you, like, breaking through the wall into this facility.
I imagine it looks like... So we get a couple of panels of us walking up to the wall. It gives some, like, specs of how thick the wall was, like, through my eye, just, like, some numbers. And then I just sort of, like, punch it sort of unceremoniously, and just, like, a whole, like, the exact shape of us just sort of appears. And we just sort of walk through nonchalantly as the dust settles.
Oh, that's good. So, once you're inside, You've got a pretty high-tech, warehouse.
Yeah.
There's little robot carts all over the place, like little robot forklifts.
Oh, nice.
Just like zooming around the aisles. None of them are manned.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about that. You'd see some cameras up in the corners that are kind of like
sure,
kind of whirring back and forth. You're in a position that they haven't quite spotted you yet, but you probably need to move. Which is the point at which Crackshot just like twirls his gun and very quickly takes out the cameras. And it is just a 6-shooter like revolver kind of thing. But when he shoots it, there's no sound. There's just a little click as the hammer like clicks back. And one of Crackshoot's abilities here is that he can shoot anything even if there's no bullets in it. So he never uses bullets.
That sounds about right.
It's pretty good. So he takes out the cameras real quick, and then kind of like blows off the barrel of the gun, even though it's not hot. And then he puts it back in his little holster. I reckon we've probably got a few minutes before they notice those are down.
I could have hacked those,
Oh, where's the fun in that? You gotta let us do something.
I guess you're right.
Next question. Crackshot and Motorhead kind of spread out to start searching the warehouse. Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
I am I'm sitting back and keeping an eye on them. At this point, I'm not entirely sure that I still trust them. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I'm watching them to see if they're, like, whispering or anything. And I'm also watching for guards and just sort of analyzing the situation. Because I have no idea where I'm going at this point.
Okay. Well, if you're analyzing the situation, let's just have you go ahead and assess the situation.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
That's a 4.
Okay. As you're assessing the situation, you notice a couple of things. Mm-hmm. First off, Motorhead especially is, he's peeking through a bunch of boxes, but he's doing it in a really, like, methodical kind of fashion. A lot of the boxes that he's checking are things that relate to Phoenix's day-to-day business, so it's stuff like, high-end prosthetics. Specifically, he's looking for, as you can tell, processors. And really specific ones, like fine motor function, the ones that link up directly to the nervous system to allow you to control those things.
Right. I'm just imagining him opening boxes that are just labeled arms, and they're just full of arms of different kinds, just throwing the arms everywhere.
No.
Well, there goes my vision. Okay, but he's looking for processors.
Yes,
okay,
he's getting really specific, like fine motor control and like nervous system link-up processors.
Interesting.
And he is definitely pocketing those as he goes.
Interesting. Can I talk to the forklifts?
You can try. What do you want to ask him?
Shoot, what do I want to ask the forklifts? Besides, how's it going?
Because I'll give you that one. They answer. Bzzz.
That's unhelpful. I want to ask them about a gem.
Okay.
Have you, or anything cold? Have you seen anything really cold?
Okay, so maybe like trying to figure out where something is.
Yeah, that's like I'm gonna say, I'm having some problems with overheating. I'm looking for this thing, fellow robot.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have you there unleash your powers because you are extending your senses. Yeah. I think that's close enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is a 12.
Okay, that'll definitely do it. So you patch into their network, and you're basically at this point just trying to figure out, shipping manifests, where things are.
Sensor logs. Anything might have registered cold.
And you do find that there was something that was marked as having those designations, like it was to be stored away from things that were sensitive to, cold. It was under heavy shielding at all times. Mm-hmm. And it actually came through here about a week ago.
Interesting.
So it's been gone for a while.
Interesting.
It was last transferred into the control of the Heron Group. And that was probably 4 days ago.
Interesting. I will keep that information under my hat for the moment.
Okay.
I will thank the lift and tell him to, take some time off, spend some time with his family.
It goes to a corner and slides into a docking, recharge station, and this, lifts its little fork, lifts things up and kind of, waggles them at you.
I love you, forklift. Your name is Bill.
Bill the forklift. So Bill the forklift is going to be recharging for a little bit and taking it easy.
Sounds right.
Meantime, Crackshot has found like an actual physical computer terminal that he is trying to hack into. Is not going very well. And he sort of like gives a sharp whistle and calls for Motorhead to come over because Motorhead has a way with machines much the same as you do.
Yeah.
Maybe not to your degree.
Yeah.
He has other skills.
Yes.
I.e. turning into a motorcycle. But he heads over to start hacking at it. And
he's better with the analog. I'm better with the digital.
Yeah, basically. And you, meanwhile, at this point, can tell that a silent alarm has been triggered. Because as Crackshot has been trying to hack into this terminal, he has triggered, that someone is here that shouldn't be. You would expect you probably have a couple of minutes before somebody shows up. And you don't know who that would be.
Someone's gonna show up. Where around here can we hide? Like, this is just like a place with boxes, right? Can I, like, pull a solid snake and get inside a bunch of cardboard boxes?
If you can find one big enough for an adult black bear, sure.
So I'm gonna run over there and say, "You fools! You've triggered an alarm!"
And Crackshot looks at you.
In my most intense whisper.
And Crackshot looks at you and goes like, "What? What do you mean?"
I'm gonna sort of like tap a few keys and it's gonna be like, "Alarm! Alarm! Alarm!"
Oh, crap! We still haven't found the gem.
I'm gonna do that thing where I hold up my finger, take it down in different panels repeatedly. Say, "We should hide. We'll talk about this in a second."
Motorhead finishes hacking into the system, and he's like, "Hold on, I've got the manifest. Let me just find out where that gem is, and we can be out of here before anyone shows up."
You knew it wasn't here?
And Crackshot kind of looks over at you. "Oh, Jackie, come on, you're one of the good guys now. Do you think we'd tell you everything?"
I could have told you where it was going without breaking in.
How could I be sure you wouldn't run right to Kopi? Now you're here with us, you're implicated, so of course if you know where it is, now would be a great time to spill the beans.
Damn, that makes a lot of sense. It's not over. Trust me.
And at that point, you can hear from outside of this facility, you can hear kind of this, it's like a high-pitched whistle up in the sky, and you can tell that something is getting very close very quickly. So, what do you do?
Super runaway?
Sure.
What is the most sheltered thing in this room?
So, you know that the building itself is pretty sheltered.
Okay. That's right. It's sort of a fortress, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely built like bunker style. It's not really in any, danger of just immediately collapsing.
Okay.
That said, it's also full of like big metal scaffolding. It's full of, like robotics bays, and all of those are pretty sheltered as well, just in case of an accident or, a natural emergency. This place would work pretty well in case of like a supervillain attack as a shelter.
That makes sense. In that case, I'm gonna go with the cardboard box plan.
Okay, you're gonna try and find a cardboard box?
Yes, I'm gonna try to find boxes and just throw everyone into boxes.
Okay. As you're doing this, Motorhead just legitimately turns into a motorcycle and parks himself up against the wall.
That's fair.
It's his standard camouflage.
Yeah.
For you and Crackshot, though, I would like you... You know what? Let's call this and assess the situation, because what here can I use to hide is a pretty good... Let's call it so. Roll plus superior.
That's a 5.
Nope.
I am not good at assessing situations.
Oh, that's good. You're great at planning. So you find a box that is big enough to fit definitely Crackshot. And it is just a box full of, as you said previously, it's a box full of prosthetic limbs. So you just dump it out on the floor and put it over him. And while you're looking around for something big enough to fit you, you can kind of see a blue glow land outside the hole in the wall that you punched.
I don't like the look of that.
And inside walks a form that you have seen in statue form. This is Axiom.
God dang it.
And Axiom, for the listeners who have seen him pretty recently, actually, is dressed in a just head-to-toe blue and chrome, like, alien power suit. It kind of shimmers, it glows a little bit. And as he walks in, he definitely looks over at the box with, like, the limbs all over the floor, and the, like, just random stray motorcycle. And the...
I am just posed like a bear statue.
And the full-on, like, black bear trying to play it cool. And he kind of just, like, cracks his knuckles a little bit. And then I think he starts by charging straight at you.
God dang it.
So the question is, what do you do?
Well, my first thought is... I don't know. I am going to, throw prosthetic limbs at him.
Okay, just gonna grab a limb off the floor and throw it at him?
I'm just gonna throw whatever's closest to me at him.
Okay, what is your goal here?
To distract him?
Because he's, like, jet charging. He's, like, not even on the floor. He's just, like rocketing at you.
Maybe I can make him flinch?
Just to try and distract him a little bit?
I'm trying to distract him, yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to fight Axiom.
Sure.
I can name at least 3 reasons.
Sure. But you maybe want to try and, like...
I also don't want to get punched in the face.
That's fair. I think... Oh, geez, how do I want to do this? I think that's going to count... Weirdly enough, I think that's going to count as directly engaging a threat.
Okay.
Because you are trying to create an opportunity.
I suppose so, yeah.
And maybe, like, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. So, like, trying to surprise him by throwing limbs at him to create an opportunity to get away. I think that's the closest that we can get there.
Okay,
So go ahead and roll danger.
That's fair.
I know you're bad at this, so...
Yeah. Well, in this case, I might choose to go within a china shop.
Okay, all right.
So since I am directly engaging this threat, I'm going to choose to cause significant collateral damage by, instead of throwing random arms, I'm just going to grab a box on the bottom of a pile of boxes and try to push the entire pile down on him.
Okay, I like that. Go for it.
That is a 9.
Okay. So, in a china shop, is collateral damage for an extra option?
Yes.
Okay, so that gives you 2 options. So what 2 do you want to pick?
I want to resist or avoid his blows.
Probably a good idea.
And, let's say impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Okay. I think that's definitely going to work for surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, you push this box over and he kind of like rolls out of the way and probably like into one of those big metal scaffoldings.
Yeah, okay.
So it's going to, catch him off guard a little bit. In that moment, I think Motorhead revs up and tries to just ram straight into him, which sort of knocks him, down one of the aisles. And then Motorhead looks over at you and, like, honks his horn. It goes, burp, burp, and then he, like, wheels around towards the exit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what do you do at that point?
I'm going to grab the box with Crackshot in it and sort of, like, sling it over my back.
Okay.
And I'm just going to sort of run out back through the hole with Motorhead here.
Okay. All right. So legit just trying to escape at this point.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to get out of here.
Okay. So you run out of that hole, and from inside you can kind of hear this like whirring up of those like of that rocketing kind of like whine sound. You get out the hole in the wall, and like kind of seconds behind you is Axiom, who is just a second behind you, and then goes up and over, and is now making a beeline towards Motorhead. He is definitely faster than Motorhead. So, what do you do?
Do I want to do that?
Do you want him to just let him take Motorhead, is the question.
I mean, I could let him take Motorhead. My thought was, do I want to throw Crackshot at him? No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to defend Motorhead here.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
I'm going to try to jump between them.
Okay.
I'm going to try to, like, use my super strength.
Sure.
Super leap.
Super leap kind of in between them?
Yeah, so my thought is I'm going to jump between them and then push all of us out of the way.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to defend someone. We'll see how well that goes for you.
Yes, we will. Okay, that's an 8 plus...
Savior.
0.
So that's an 8?
That's an 8.
Okay. So when you defend someone, on a hit, you keep them safe and you choose 1.
Okay.
So on a 7 to 9, it costs you, though. You can either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. So which of those do you want to do before we choose the 1?
I feel like I'm going to expose myself to danger at this point.
Okay, we'll get to what that is like in just a second, but which option do you want to choose?
I feel like I'm going to take influence over Motorhead here.
Okay, I think that works. I think that definitely works, because Motorhead sees Axiom coming for him and realizes he can't outrun. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, just that fear in his headlight for just a second before you, like, jump in the way. Uh-huh. Now, are you still holding the box with Crackshot in it at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So, the way this exposing yourself to danger works is that Axiom was just going to grab Motorhead and swoop kind of up with him, and you just jumped in the way of that. So, Axiom just grabbed you and is swooping up.
I see.
As he does, I think you're a little heavier than he was expecting. That's
fair.
But
rude, but fair.
But the suit very quickly makes up for that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an alien power suit.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
And from inside the box, you can hear Crackshot going, because he was not expecting that acceleration that quickly. And Axiom kind of looks at that and then looks over at you and goes, that didn't sound pleasant at all. Welp. And then he headbutts you. Go ahead and take a powerful blow.
Now this is where I'm going to roll 2 6s.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, not bad. I mean...
Okay, so that's plus conditions, right?
Yes.
That's a 10.
Nice. So go ahead and pick what you want to pick.
I knew I should have cleared a condition.
Yeah, that would have helped.
All right.
You do have Crackshot here, so you do have a teammate, if you want to pick 2 off the 7 to 9 list.
That is true. I think the best thing to happen right now might be to have myself knocked out and trigger my regeneration.
Okay. So just remove yourself from the...
Yes.
Okay, so you pass out.
Yes.
Yeah. To be fair, it's a real hard headbutt.
Yeah, I mean, it's Axiom.
It's Axiom. So you just kind of whip back. Let's go ahead right quick and flashback.
Yes, this is a good place for a flashback.
Let's flash back to a time that you got yourself in way over your head.
I see.
While you were with the Killage people.
Mm-hmm.
What hero were you fighting at the time?
Well, I know there is the well-documented incident where we fought the Supersonic Youth. Or, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He trounced us.
So what kind of powers does the Supersonic Youth have? I think I have some ideas.
Yeah. He runs faster than the speed of sound.
Sure. He's your classic speedster.
Yes, he's a classic speedster.
And I think in this case, we get that flashback where he's just kind of like literally running circles around Crackshot until Crackshot just passes out from getting too dizzy.
Yes, it's like a cartoon.
Yeah, like he just goes fast enough they start spinning Crackshot in like the vortex.
Yeah.
And then he uses that that built up momentum to like come straight at you with a haymaker.
Sure.
And then like we get that panel where it hits you and then like glass is shattering on either side of the street.
Yeah. Yes.
And was that kind of, as I recall, maybe the impetus for you to maybe rethink your criminal career?
It was indeed, yeah.
And we get the aftermath where you and the Supersonic Youth are just kind of like chilling out on the street, waiting for the cops to show up. And the rest of the Killage people are like in various stages of unconscious or I think Motorhead is like halfway through a window at this point.
Yeah. I think Ice Admiral has frozen himself in his own ice.
Yeah, because he was trying to freeze Supersonic Youth and he just couldn't get a good beat on him.
Yeah.
And the youth kind of looks over at you and he goes, I don't really think your heart is in this. I fought a lot of villains in my time, and you're good at the violence, but you don't seem to have much stake in it.
So at this point, I figure I'm wrapped up in streetlights and sort of bound to the side. What do you mean?
I mean, look, if it was just you, and you didn't have to worry about a place to live or where your next meal was coming from, do you think you would be knocking over banks? I'll just let you sit with that. Just think about it. Just really think about it, because if the answer is no, I know some people, not here, you've already ruined your reputation in Maestro City, but Apex has a Kopi facility, and they've got a really good young hero program that I think you would fit really well into. Just think about it. Just think.
Wait. Go back a second. You mean I can get food without stealing it?
Yes. And at that point, we hear the sirens coming down the street, and go ahead and trigger your regeneration.
Sure, okay. Regeneration triggers. My body undergoes unpredictable transformations in mere moments. Mm-hmm. So I get to clear 3 conditions. That clears all of my conditions. I am going to unlock an Armiger form. Mm-hmm. I will change my physical appearance. And I think I will swap an ability with one from the Newborn playbook.
Okay. All right. We'll get to what that ability here is in just a second. That in a bit. But when you unlock an Armiger, because you have filled Armiger,
yes,
you get a new option.
Ooh.
You get Porcupine.
Okay, I'm loving that.
So you have that option. You can pick it if you want to, because you did also just hit 3 conditions, which is where you switch.
No, I didn't actually hit 3 conditions.
Did you not? Oh, no, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Never mind. Mm-hmm. Okay, so never mind. But you do have options.
So yes.
You have next time you switch, you have Porcupine.
Awesome.
You have that as an option.
All right.
Let's talk about what changes happen to you physically, though, because when you wake up, you are falling.
Yes, I feel like that makes sense.
And you can see, like, just above you, like, going like, Jackie, oh my god, Jackie, wake up!
What's going on?
Crackshot has, like, he's out of his box at this point. You can see the box, like, fluttering up into the sky. Uh-huh. And Axiom is very swiftly zooming back down towards where Motorhead is trying to run away.
Right.
What happens to you?
I feel like at this moment I am, instead of running from my past, I'm beginning to embrace it a bit more.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm going to take on a more punk appearance.
Okay.
So, in addition to growing some random, like, spikes and stuff, I now have an undercut somehow.
Yes! Bear undercut. I like it.
Uh-huh. And, the hair on my head is now dyed blacker.
Ooh, I like that.
So I'm a little bit emo and a little bit punk.
That's good.
I've got some cyber eyeliner on now.
That's Cyliner.
Yes, Cyliner.
Oh, that's good.
So definitely a slightly more punk appearance than what I was doing before.
You're a punk cyber bear.
I am now, apparently.
That's awesome. Okay, and as you are falling from the sky, and Crackshot is kind of freaking out up above you, and Motorhead is in trouble, what do you do? Imminent peril. I
feel like what I should do at this point is wrap my arms protectively around Crackshot and try to angle myself to fall directly into Axiom.
Okay. Are you trying to, like, speed up your descent, like...
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Is that a directly engage or defend? What's your intent? Is it to knock Axiom out of the sky or keep your friends safe?
The first one is a means to the second one.
Mm-hmm. But what's the primary intent?
I guess the initial intent is to defend.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the defense up one.
Which is just making this harder on me somehow. Alright, well, I rolled a 9.
That ain't bad.
Plus superior gives me nothing.
That ain't bad,
but
though.
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and defend somebody. So, kind of same as last time. You will keep them safe, but on a 7 to 9, you can either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation, and you get to choose one regardless.
Yes.
So what you want to do?
I really want to de-escalate the situation.
Unfortunately, that is not an option.
Yes. Well, to save myself from escalating further, I am going to expose myself to danger.
Okay.
Which seems, like, fairly obvious given what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
And I am going to take influence.
Okay.
Can I add team to the pool at this point?
Yeah.
Alright. I think I'll take influence. I guess I'm defending Motorhead, who I already have influence over.
You could take influence over Crackshot because you're grabbing your arms around him.
I'll take influence over him at this point.
Cool. So you now have influence over everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, you manage to catch up with Axiom and just, like, knock into him. He kind of goes off into the dirt, into the street.
Yeah.
And, like, tears, like, a big, like, furrow in it. You kind of land, like, hard into the street.
I imagine.
So I am going to have you roll to take a powerful blow.
Yeah, from the ground.
From the ground. Ugh. Well, at least you don't have any conditions marked.
So it's just a 9. I didn't get a 10 this time.
Right, that's good. So what do you want to do?
I'm going to mark 2 conditions.
What you going to mark?
I am going to be angry and insecure.
That's good. That makes sense. So as you are kind of like shaking off the ground, Crackshot at this point is running over and jumping on Motorhead. The two of them are, kind of tearing off into the night.
Right.
Crackshot does look back to see if you're following, at least. So we'll give you that.
Okay, there's that.
Axiom is starting to pick himself up out of the street.
Uh-huh.
You've probably got, a couple of seconds before he's back up, and coming at you. What do?
There's so many petty things I can do.
There's so many things you can do here.
Just a couple seconds.
Yep. Not a whole lot of time, but enough time to do something.
I'm going to run over and spray paint across his mask and then run away.
Oh, that's good.
If I had a stencil, I'd spray paint a stencil of some other villain, but I don't think I have that prepared.
You know what? Directly engage a threat. I'll take that.
I'm directly engaging his ego.
Yeah, that's a thing.
No? Okay, that gives me a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to engage any of your moves?
I'm not sure I'm doing this in a terrifying fashion.
No. You could... I don't know how you would cause collateral damage with this.
No, I think I'm just going to take the 9.
Okay. So pick one of those things.
My gut reaction says I want to take his dignity from him, though.
That's good. I mean, yeah, go for it.
That's what I'm going to do then.
Okay. So you spray paint across his face, and I think that throws him off a little bit, and he kind of falls backwards on his little cyber butt, and he looks for a brief moment, pretty silly.
Yes.
And
I feel like I spray paint a happy face on his mask.
Oh, like dot, smiley.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so, God, he loses his dignity, at least for the scene. And I think the way that works out, you didn't resist or avoid blows. And I think the way that works out is that he just goes, "Stop toying around with me and take this seriously." And he punches you almost full force.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and take a powerful blow right quick.
Yup.
Just square center of your chest.
That is a 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Your teammates at this point are running away,
They're gone.
I don't know that you can lash out verbally.
No, I'm going to give ground.
You're going to give ground? Okay.
I'm going to give ground to that.
So he punches you square center mass, and you slide back across the street, probably a good 50, 60 yards, just straight down the street. And as you are, just getting your bearings again, you realize that he's just inches away from you. And I think the chance he's going to take is that he just grabs one of your wrists and then wrenches it around, and you can feel something click.
Uh-huh.
And he has just cuffed your hands behind your back.
I see. That's how you're going to play this Axiom?
Yeah, so what do you do?
I'm going to laugh at him and say, worth it!
Okay.
Which I consider directly engaging his ego.
You know what? I'll allow it. Go for it.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, that gives me a 7.
Okay, so pick one of those things.
I'm going to say, I've already taken his dignity, so I'm just going to impress, surprise, or frighten him at this point.
Okay. I think he is a little... I think I'm going to go for surprised again.
Yeah.
Because he just, shakes his head, and he comes around the front, and he looks at you, and he's like, "I read Copy files. I know who you are. I thought you were better than this. I thought you were a hero." And I think that's a powerful blow.
I thought he was shifting my labels.
Oh, no, you know what? You're right. It is shifting your labels.
That's definitely
shifting your labels. I think what he's trying to do, I think he's shifting your savior down and your danger up.
Okay. Neither of those can move in either of those directions.
Okay, so do you want to accept that or reject it?
Oh, I definitely want to reject it.
Okay, so go ahead and reject it.
I'm going to fail this spectacularly.
Oh, let's see if this is your first time you successfully reject.
Nope. Okay, so that's a 1.
Okay.
Because I'm insecure.
Oh, that's... So...
I'm never, ever going to reject influence.
No, you're never going to succeed with it. You constantly try, but you never succeed. So I think Axiom, who is kind of a big-name hero, telling you that you're not acting like a hero, definitely hits you hard.
Yeah.
So, mark a condition, and I'll adjust your labels.
Alright. I am now guilty as well.
Okay. And I think with Axiom having just basically wrecked you up and down the street. I think you're feeling less dangerous. You're feeling like less of a big shot.
That makes sense.
And probably more mundane.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So danger down, mundane up.
Okay. That does give me 3 conditions, though.
It does. So this could be the time you shut down, if you want to reformat. Or we can finish out the scene and then you can.
Narratively, it makes sense that I shut down from how powerful his emotional blow is.
Sure. You just shut down.
Yeah, and then I come back. So, originally I was in Puma, and I think I'm going to come back as a porcupine.
Okay.
Which is certainly more defensive, because that's how I'm feeling.
So we get those panels where you shut down.
Yeah.
And I think Axiom is just kind of alone on the street for a second and, like, makes a little energy, like, wipe around his hand and, like, burns the spray paint off his face mask. And then puts a hand up to the side of his ear and he goes, "Hey, Olivia, we got a problem."
Masks, A New Generation, is written for Magpie Games by Brendan Conway. It is made of angst, bears, and system error. Give it your dollars. It is well worth them. The Bearoness is played by A Glitch in the System. Puro is played by Lenny. You can find her on Instagram at C4TFood. William Infernus is played by Jordan. Darren is played by Nan. Find her on Instagram at Nanjitsu. Apex City is GM'd by Jeremy, or so you think, who also writes the music and edits this podcast. Our album art was provided by Ash Brandt. Find them on Twitter at Cinder_Brandt, on Instagram at Brandt.ash, and on Tumblr at Kimmins. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are sold. Follow us on Twitter at Apex City Cast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next issue.